Welcome everybody to the first mock draft for Fantasy Football 2025, the very early mock draft here, laying out the first 5 rounds, taking a look at the landscape of who's drafting who in what round, who's coming off first overall, what is going on for 2025. We're going to lay it out here right now. We're going to dive right into the mock draft. If you're new to the channel, smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here. Let me know what you guys think of the mock draft. What are you thinking of some players you like in the early rounds? Love to get your feedback here. And you can pre-order right now the 16-round draft solution. This is the solution. Rankings won't help you. Magazines won't help you. Nobody in the fantasy football industry will help you. I'm telling you guys, these 3 things, I'm telling you, rankings, magazines, consensus, everybody in the industry is out to screw you. And if you don't believe me, they all told you to draft CMC round 1 last year. I was telling you not to. And I can go on. They told you Debo round 3. They told you Ayuk round 3. Why are you drafting 2 receivers for the same team in rounds 3 to 4? Like pretty much in the same round. It's not going to help you. All right. So if you want to smash your league, you can pre-order 16 rounds below. Use code EARLY to get a 25% discount. I've linked it below. All right. So let's dive into a mock draft. Let's just have some fun here. We'll do a simulation. Just kind of go over who's who and what's going on. A very brief overview here. We're not going to go too crazy. The NFL draft hasn't happened. So I don't want to go absolutely crazy with this because we got to see where these rookies land in, the Genties, the Omarion Hamptons, some of these rookie quarterbacks might be value. Definitely not drafting a rookie quarterback in the first 5 rounds, but we're just going to get a better idea after the NFL draft. But let's have some fun here in the simulation. We are drafting the 6th position here, and it's 1 point PPR, 12 person. If you guys are listening in the car, we are just having fun. I just want to give you a look at what's going on this year based on consensus and how we can really take advantage of that to actually win our leagues. All right. So let's dive into this here. So first 6 picks here, I could see across the board. I could see this being very viable here. Saquon, first overall, 101. We got Jamar Chase, who just got paid a mega contract, 4 years, $160 million. He's got a full belly. How that's going to translate on the field is going to be very interesting to see. By Jan, I definitely see this. I could see him maybe first overall. Jefferson, who at the time of this recording is in a suspect quarterback situation. Is McCarthy going to be the guy? We don't know. Nico Collins at the 105, which I like Nico this year. I don't know if I like the first round draft tag on him. And then we're on the 6th pick here. Now, how are you going to see? I already got a feeling of how this is going to lay out. More people, I've been doing a bunch of these, and I've been just getting a feel of like, I got my feet on the street, right? Basically, ear to the ground or whatever you want to say. They are not shy on running backs this year because they've been doing something that I've been doing for years. It wins is get the proper running backs because it is the most scarce position. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love that running back position. That being said, there's a ton of rookies coming in that could be workhorses this year, but I just have a feeling a lot of these guys are going to be put into committees. It's going to be ugly, but they could emerge as the RB1s. Guys like Genty, guys like Hampton, guys like Caleb Johnson. Travion Henderson, maybe more of a complimentary kind of like a Gibbs type back, but it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So I see it, again, this is how I see it. I see like Barkley, Gibbs, Bijan as the first 3 picks this year across the board. Isn't it funny how there's no CMC here when everyone's telling Christian McCaffrey last year? It's funny how fast they jump off that train. Isn't it amazing how we are always a year ahead of these guys? When I was telling you to draft Saquon and stack him with Henry on that turn, if you guys got the 16-round draft session, isn't it so funny now how nobody is addressing this or talking about CMC? It's hilarious. So what are we doing here at the 6th pick here? Now, again, you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him. I see Henry here as a first rounder. Listen, I love Henry. I love that offense, but was last year his last hurrah? Something I'm really investigating here in the offseason, something to talk about. I think Gibbs is great. He was the number 1 running back in fantasy last year. Imagine if Montgomery wasn't there. We're talking 500 fantasy points if Montgomery wasn't there, and he was. And he got hurt for a bunch of the season, which really helped Gibbs' numbers. So I'm factoring a regression, but if a Montgomery injury could really catapult Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's a safe running back here. When you compare him with other options, I mean, he's not as old as Henry. Puka, I don't really trust. They bring in Adams. That's not something I'm warm and fuzzy about. Amon-Ra, he's safe with volume. Brian Thomas Jr. was my 9th round pick across the board. He was in all my leagues last year. I got him in my dynasty league. Love him. I told you to draft him. Now everybody's riding him, which is funny. So what are we doing here? I got to go Gibbs here. just based on the other talent around him. I'm not going to go ahead and draft, Henry in his 31-year-old Henry. I mean, he still could be good. The fact that the Ravens were already flirting with Genty, they met with him. I'm not saying that Genty's going to be on the Ravens. They're like picking like 27th or something like that, the Ravens. So like, I'm not really concerned that Genty's going to be there, but the fact that they're flirting with Genty is a concern on how they feel about Henry. They're going to bring in a top running back stud, or you're talking to one. It's crazy. So to wrap up round one, I went Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb, Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra, Puka, Brian Thomas, and Malik. You're getting a feel. And a guy like, Puka was, it's kind of where he was last year. Brian Thomas was like an 8th to 9th round pick. Malik was a 3rd round pick. Just very interesting to see how the dynamic changed over a year. Genty, again, not knowing his landing spot at the time of this recording, coming off early round 2, I could see that. It's funny because I remember last year Marvin Harrison was here. Where is he now? He's going to be great value this year. I think he takes a step up. It's funny because Harrison, I remember him on this turn last year. Nowhere to be found this year. Drake London coming off early round 2. As you can see, A.J. Brown, Bucky Irving. You can see coming off early round 2. Bucky Irving was a sleeper in 16 rounds. If you guys don't know, now you know. Again, look at him. Everyone's kind of riding the Bucky train. Everybody's a Rachaad White guy. Now they're a Bucky guy that can sheep. And I was telling you, Rachaad White sucks. Rachaad White is not a good player. He averages like 3 yards per carry, lackluster player, not good. You got Jacobs here, Taylor. I think we've seen the best of what Taylor can offer a couple of years ago, back in 2021 or something like that, whatever it was. He hasn't done it since. And again, is he going to stay healthy? And how's the quarterback situation looking there? I'm not really trusting. I'm not really trusting it at all. All right, so who are we drafting here? Out of all these players here, you could anchor your team with the ace quarterback here. You're paying a 2nd round for Allen. Again, this is early look here, just getting a feel. Atchain's good. I don't know, man. Miami still kind of concerns me. Look at everybody riding Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was a rookie tight end, had a good year. Now they're all riding him, similar with Laporta. Where's your Laporta? Laporta was coming off round 2. You guys are off him now. It's amazing how they're just not thinking outside the box. I'm going to go Kyren Williams right now, simply because I love that running back combo, and he's kind of taken that. Yeah, and he proved he's the guy. As long as he stays durable, Kyren is the guy. They've already solidified the position with Blake Corum. He wasn't a threat last year. I don't see him being a threat this year. As long as Kyren stays healthy, he's in a situation that's pretty much solid where I don't think the Rams are looking at a running back. I just don't see them drafting. If they do, maybe for depth, but they've already got Corum. I think they're set. He's a starter easily. Corum could start if he gets the volume. So Kyren is the guy. Corum didn't threat, and I'm just getting an ace running back in round 2. Again, this is very early. I keep saying that. It is early. Evans here, we're going to keep going through round 2. It went Genty, London, Brown, Bucky, Jacobs, Taylor, Kyren, Mike Evans, Chase Brown, Achane, Breece Hall, Brock Bowers. As you can see, guys, a lot of running backs here. It seems like the dynamic is changing back to running backs coming early. This is something I've preached for a very, very long time. Listen, Chase Brown round 2 is extremely early. Depending on if the Bengals go running back, I think they will draft a running back. Remember, Brown was like a 4th to 5th round pick. I think he was a 5th round pick. And what I found through history has shown us that typically running backs that are drafted in the 4th to 5th round cannot be trusted. I'm going to keep going back to the Algier example where he was drafted in the 4th round. They still drafted Bijan. So I'm not surprised if someone else comes in and just steals that job, because Chase Brown was a 5th round pick. He's viewed as a 5th round talent, and he just won't be respected as an early round running back that's going to get all the volume unless they don't draft anybody. Whereas I definitely see some value here, but still 2nd round is very expensive for a guy who was drafted pretty much for free last year. I don't know what round he was coming off again. We're going back 9th, 10th round or something like. He was a good value last year, and now everybody's riding him. Okay, so you guys are getting a feel here, kind of what's happening. A lot of running backs coming off early. Devin Achane, Breece Hall, Brock Bowers round out round 2. Round 3, we're kind of getting back to what we were avoiding the Consheepses were off him, but the year before everybody was on T. Higgins round 2 to 3. And I keep talking about this, and I want to hammer this point home. You never, ever draft a wide receiver 2 when you know he's the wide receiver 2 on his team, without a doubt, in the early rounds. Why would you settle? Well, Joe, he finished as a top 15 wide receiver last year, blah, blah, blah. He's still going to be relatively productive, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. But why? I'm still securing more high-end talent, top of their depth chart, right? Talent, especially in the early rounds. And I was getting top of the depth chart talent last year in the late rounds. That's why 16 rounds is the truth. Get 16 rounds. I've linked it below. I was getting Brian Thomas Jr. in all my leagues, and he was the top guy on his team. So I can fade guys that are, in the, the wide receiver 2s on their team, lower on the depth chart in the early rounds, because I want to get guys that are guaranteed to be the guys on their team. So at this position here, who am I getting? I take a look at running backs. McCaffrey's there. I mean, I think if he stays healthy, I think he's still going to be safe. I get my 3 running backs, McCaffrey, Gibbs. See, McCaffrey in round 3 this year, coming off a down year, looks way more attractive than first overall last year, coming off 2 pinnacle years. Now I know he's had his regression, and I'm getting him as my RB3. Dude, for a guy who doesn't like McCaffrey, I'm kind of liking the value here. This is very, very interesting here. I'm almost tempted to go with him here. Now, again, there could be a running back like a Caleb Johnson who's on the right team that I might look at. Again, this is pre-NFL draft. But damn, I might do something that I've never done before. I might actually draft Christian McCaffrey here. It's crazy, isn't it? Why not? It's a mock draft. It's the off season. We're having some fun. I've got my 2 workhorses. I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey round 3. This is just wild. Oh man, wait, just wild here. All right, so there we have it. That's crazy. So let's just talk about round 3 here. Higgins, McConkey, Allen. McConkey, man, he was another guy who was getting all my tees for value last year. Allen, Laporta, McBride. McBride, a little older here. He's not old, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust Arizona. I like the young tight ends, but like rookie 1 or 2 year tight ends that could break out. CMC, Kittle, Tyreek Hill, James Cook. Amazing. Tyreek Hill was a first round last year. Lamar Jackson, Chuba. I'm not sold on Carolina at all. McLaurin here, round 3. Decent value. I'm just a big Jaden Daniels guy, so that's why I like McLaurin. I'm not really a McLaurin fan, but I'm a McDaniels. I'm thinking McDonald's here. Jaden Daniels. I don't eat McDonald's, by the way. Don't eat that stuff. Terry McLaurin here. I like him because of Jaden Daniels. Walker, Connor. I think Trey Benson really does take a step up this year. That's crazy that Connor is still coming off early. He should be on the bench. They got to play the youth, man. Connor was just never that good, but you guys can debate me on that. Mixon, Daniels, round 4, Burrow, and Jackson Smith, who I think takes a step up this year. So round 5 here, I got to take a quick glance at wide receiver. And man, oh man, I mean, you would think that it's scary to get like a Marvin Harrison here as my wide receiver 1, but I still think there is a ton of wide receivers. And again, make sure you guys turn on the bell here because I'll go over the sleepers and all that stuff, and it's all laid out in 16 rounds. But I'm going to still be fine. And people were scared for me last year. Like, how can you make McConkey and Brian Thomas Jr. essentially your wide receiver 1s? I'm like, I'm good. I got Barkley. I got Allen. I got Saquon, Henry, and I had Allen round 3. I was good across the board. I had a bad pick last year with Zamir White somewhere in there, but man, I was still crushing it, and I was still getting wide receivers late. So I'm not really concerned. I think Marvin Harrison takes a step up. I think the volume is there. I think the competition is not there at all. So I don't mind going Marvin Harrison. It's also nice to secure myself an ace quarterback here. I can still get Jalen Hurts here. Feel pretty warm and fuzzy at this position. If not, then I'm kind of waiting for guys that are a little more questionable here. Again, all this will be laid out in 16 rounds, or I could play it safe here with a Goff, but I think it's early. I'm just going to get either an Adams, over the hill kind of guy trending downwards. I know it's Matt Stafford and all that, but I still think Puka could be the one. Puka's actually not the one because he gave away his jersey number, which I think was a real weak move. But I'm going to go here, Marvin Harrison here. Much better value than last year, and I know he's going to get the volume, and I know he's the one, right? And then I'm going to round it out probably with a quarterback here. But let's just go through here these rounds here. Round 4, Walker, Connor, Mixon, Daniels, Burrow, JSN, Harrison, Montgomery, Hurts, Adams, Omari, and Hampton coming off round 4. Very interesting. We don't know what team he's on. Garrett Wilson, Alvin Kamara, but I can see Hampton coming off there. So round 5, Kamara, Aaron Jones. I'm not sold on Aaron Jones. Cortland Sutton, Travion Henderson. As you can see, people just scooping up. They're going to be scooping up these rookie running backs in rounds 4 to 6, whatever. Dobbins is a free agent at the time of this recording, and then it's our turn. We want to anchor our team with an ace quarterback, and we can still get a Mahomes or someone like that here and have a decent team. So I'm going to just for fun here, let's take a quick glance at wide receiver. Zay Flowers, he's okay. Tight end, quick glance there. You got Mark Andrews still on the board. Quarterback, I still would want to get an ace quarterback. I'm just going to grab Pat Mahomes here just for fun. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of go over this with you guys. Take a quick look here, or a screenshot, or whatever it is. I want to just, essentially just take a look with you and say, hey man, here's kind of what's going on. Here's the lay of the land. Here's what's happening. And it looks like running backs are just highly sought out, right? Where's the first quarterback that came off? The first quarterback that came off was, Josh Allen round 3, which I understand. Josh Allen is amazing. He's going to produce. If you want him, you got to go round 3, which isn't a bad idea, but you can still wait a round or two and still get a decent quarterback, right? You can get like a Hurts around later, or Mahomes, just to get a lay of the land here. Tight ends are, Mark Andrews falling to round 5 here. Again, this is just a simulation, just based on ADP. You can see Christian McCaffrey, 3rd round pick. It's really, really interesting to see those running backs highly side out in the first 2 rounds. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 running backs in the first 24 picks. That's half just in running backs. Pretty fascinating stuff. So that's it. That's all I have for you. If you're new to the channel, smash tab beside it. Go pre-order 16 rounds right now, and you guys will be light years ahead of the competition. I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing year. Fantasy Football Mock Draft 2025. Hopefully this gives you an idea of kind of what's going on, but I can't wait till the NFL draft till we know exactly what's going on. And I can lay out 16 rounds and do better mock drafts here for you. Turn on the bell, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. Who are you drafting in the first 5 rounds? Drop it. And what do you think of my CMC pick? Let me know. We'll talk soon. I'm out.